Okie dokie. All right, we are now live. Okay, welcome everybody. Gingerman Cards here, and today I have the pleasure of introducing Spideyjeu09. That's how I pronounce it, or known as Justin.
Yeah,
and he has a YouTube channel. So please have a look at that. I'll put the links below in the video. But yeah, if you could introduce yourself, Justin, that would be amazing.
Yeah, first of all, Gingerman, it's an honor to be on your channel. I think I've watched every video that you have, and I've really enjoyed it. And thankful to be here with you and your viewers and the people on your channel. And really awesome to connect across the pond, as they say, right?
Yeah.
I love how this community of YouTube and community of Marvel cards is vast, and we can connect with people all around the world. It's really awesome. And yeah, my channel is Spideyjeu09, and I pronounce it Spideyjeu09. My name is Justin Edward Underwood. That's where the JEU comes from. And so, I'm real clever. I was like, I love Spider-Man. My name is Justin, and I was born in September. How about Spideyjeu09? Let's go with it.
Love it.
But anyhow, yeah, the channel started for me around November of last year, and I think the quarantine pushed a lot of people to video content.
Yeah.
We started consuming video content. I know there's probably people like me who used to consume sports like at a really high level, and now I never watch TV. I only watch, YouTube content.
Yeah.
If it's not Disney Plus, a couple of shows on Amazon Prime like Invincible, I'm watching YouTube, and that's it. And I love it. I enjoy it. Maybe too much.
Yeah.
My wife is like, "What are you watching again?" But yeah, I love making content. It's a lot of fun, and I have this hobby that I have had now, really for the last I think 4 years, and that hobby centers around Marvel collectibles, mainly Marvel Legends action figures, comic books.
Yeah.
And have you watched any videos from Swaggle? He's mainly a comic book content creator. So my twin brother, Dustin, I'm Justin. I have a twin brother, Dustin, and he's been on a couple of videos on the channel. He was like, he sent me this video. Have you seen what's happening with Marvel cards? Because we collected growing up as kids. And I watched it, and it just, it reawoken this nostalgia monster, is what I'll call it. And this nostalgia monster was, this 10, 11, 12, 13-year-old kid who would just flip through the cards and reread them over and over and over again. And I like to draw, and I would draw them over and over and over again. And to see that something that I really cherished as a kid and still had as an adult started, making some waves in the world of collectibles and valuables was really fun to see, and had me get back into it and want to talk about it and start creating content around it. And I've had a ton of fun doing it. And it's morphed my channel a little bit, and I am struggling with that. I did a video about that this weekend, just, my creating content around Marvel Legends, which you can see in the back, or around cards. And, I think I'm just going to keep doing what I love. And for those who love it, will watch it, and those who don't won't, and that's great. That's okay.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's exactly how I feel. If you don't like it, don't watch it.
Right, yeah, other channels, yeah.
That's right. So how did you, going back to Marvel Legends, and we'll talk about cards in a minute, but how did you get into that? You said 4 years ago you started it.
So I had action figures as a kid. That was the thing that I played with the most. But I had my first child. My wife and I had our first child when we were 18 and 19. And so I went to work. And I mean work, like a lot, all the time. And we had our second kid, thank the Lord, 4 years later, and continued to work. And so, with that, we didn't have space for anything that I wanted to collect or put up. And there was a house full of girls, so guy nerdy stuff, dad nerdy stuff couldn't go up on the walls or anything. And the career really took off, and the hard work started paying off about 5 years ago. And, the reality that we were going to be able to get a home where I could have a space that they wouldn't exist in, and my wife would not, have to look at, because she's not into anything Marvel related. and she runs a tight ship here in the house. And so I was like, look, babe, we're gonna have a home, Lord willing, and we're gonna have a space where I can have a room to have my collectibles. And what that reality, coupled with the thought that I actually didn't know that I was going to collect Marvel action figures, or I had some comic books and things like that I had, picked up here and there over the years, but not seriously collecting. But I went to a yard sale or estate sale, garage sale. I don't know what term you guys use, but walked up and this guy's whole house was covered with mainly action figures. I mean, just literally room to room to room to room, storage building out back. Like, it was insane, completely overwhelming. Everything from Star Wars, Lord of the Rings, Spawn, Marvel. Had I known what I know now, I would have bought the whole house. Like, I would have just made the guy ridiculous offer because I now know what all that stuff is worth. I had no clue then. But he had this one room that was primarily dedicated to Toy Biz action figures. And I don't know if you're familiar with Toy Biz, but in a sense, it was highly articulated, highly detailed action figures that think of collectors making their own action figures made. And they came out in the mainly early 2000s, and they were wonderful, but they were not making any money. So eventually they went out of business and were bought by Hasbro. But those action figures were in that room, and I picked out like 10 of them. And I told the guy, I was like, hey, look, I'll give you $100 for these 10. And he sold them to me. Well, it turns out one of those figures was a McFarlane action figure, and I'm going to show you guys that.
Wow.
Well, we call it a McFarlane. See that? We call it a McFarlane because of the posability. So you can get into this 4-point pose, along with these big white eyes like McFarlane. You know what I'm talking about, Todd McFarlane.
Yeah.
And but this was one of the 10 that I bought for $100. Well, this thing sells all the time for over $100. And having that big win immediately, along with this incredible figure, I was like, okay, the hobby I'm going to have is collecting Marvel action figures. And so started buying and collecting and preparing for the room, and that part has just really grown and grown and grown from there.
Yeah, love it. I was just going to say, obviously, I've watched a lot of your videos. Like, your whole collection, number one, is amazing. It just blows my mind. And the room you're building, like, for your collection, I just thought that is just so cool. That is my dream one day.
I know you can do it. You can do it.
Yeah, one day it will happen. Yeah. But yeah, really, really cool. That is. Okay, so you mentioned about back to cards. So was it Swaggle House that kind of tipped you off and said, "Look, have you seen this?" And that's how you're kind of.
I did not have a clue. Had no clue until my brother showed me that video.
Right.
And
okay.
Within 24 hours, I made the video that he and I did together, talking about, hey, go look in your collection and see what you have. Keep up with what's going on.
Yeah. I saw that video. I was like, yes, love it.
That's right.
So the next video I wanted to talk about was the 96 Marvel Masterpieces sealed pack that you opened. That I was sitting there in complete stressful state of, oh my God, I hope he gets something good. So yeah, tell me about that one.
Yeah, so I guess the first thing you'll know is my personality is more of a maverick personality, and means I'm undaunted by failure. Like, I'm just, let's do it. And these packs, let me grab it for you.
Sure.
This is the pack, Marvel 1996. I can get in the camera here. Let me tell you a little history about these first, and you likely know, Ginger Man, but just for the audience, these came out in 1996. The comic collectible market was that bubble was bursting. And because that bubble was bursting, when they were mass producing some of these cards, 1996, the order shrunk tremendously as mom and pop comic book stores around the world started to close. And your local comic book shops started to close, who were the ones selling these comic book trading cards. But these 1996, a lot had gone into the production of them in terms of the quality. And the content creators, Julia and Boris here, who are well-known oil tanners, fantasy type artists, as you can tell here from the art on the. And they had previously done the 1992 set of Marvel Masterpiece, which is a really big hit and sold a tremendous amount of them. But these were not many were ordered. So you have probably at that time the highest quality card being made that then had a limited print run in a dying market. And so not many were purchased. So now you have scarcity, right?
Yeah. And
scarcity along with the quality play a role in, value. And so fast forward, 15, 20, whatever many years, I can't do math apparently. And we have this comic book boom, right? Comic market boom, collectible market boom, especially with trading cards here recently. And these packs started selling unopened, sealed for well over $500, $600. I've seen $600 sales.
Right.
A box of these, I've seen sales upwards to $10,000.
Yeah.
And there's been some listings for $30,000. You may have seen some of those that eventually didn't sell, and other sales of $5,000 and $7,000. Well, I made an offer. I was like, oh, I don't want to do this, but I got to do this. So I made an offer for $400 for the pack, and the guy accepted it, or gal, whoever on eBay accepted it. And so I'm like, golly, that's a lot of money.
Yeah.
I think it comes with, let's see, I think it's 6 cards, 7 cards, something like that for $400
nuts, isn't
each. It? Now, these singles sell easily raw for $50 a piece. So it's not like I was just throwing away $400, right?
Yeah.
I knew I could get, should I want to, resell some of the cards. But the thing is there were some major heavy hitters in there. We're talking about raw cards that sell upwards for $700 and $800 a piece. And so I began to open the pack, and the card that I was really eyeballing was 2 cards. One was the base set card Psylocke, and for whatever reason, Psylocke in a Marvel Masterpiece tends to be one of the most expensive cards. It's kind of become a thing with the Marvel Masterpiece collectors, but it is what it is, especially in that set. That card raw sells for $150 to $300. PSA 10, probably $3,000. Okay, and so that's what I'm thinking about. The other was the double impact cards. Double impact cards is the rarest, insert card that comes in the pack. And of the double impact cards, the Rogue Human Torch two-sided card, double impact, is the most valuable, the most sought after. And I get the card number 5, I believe it is, if my memory serves me correctly. And I pull the Rogue Human Torch double impact card. More than paid for the pack and then some. Just incredible. I mean, just
you kept your cool. I'll give you that. Well, you kept your cool, because I would have been jumping out my seat.
Well, that I've actually heard people say, "Hey, you should celebrate more," and I guess part of me doesn't want to over celebrate. That where it might look like a brag or something, and so I like get real reserved. But the truth is, I should just let my joy come out and just appreciate the moment.
Yeah.
And I was super stoked. The relief is really what I felt immediately. Was like, oh, I can get my money back.
Yeah.
So that was just such a fun pool, and was thankful I got it on video so that I could share it with people. And so then, I finished looking at the rest of the cards, and by this time, though, okay, so this is maybe a cautionary tale from here. By this time, PSA, for those who don't know, PSA is a grading company, the one that's been around likely the longest, and they're the most respected grading companies for trading cards, baseball, basketball, football, Marvel, and fetch the highest dollar. Well, I thought, you know what? Well, they had raised their prices in February and like doubled their prices. So an express order costs $300 per card, and that's the cheapest submission you have right now.
Yeah.
So they only want you submitting cards that you really know are going to be valuable. And I started thinking about, gosh, this is a pack fresh, minty fresh, double impact Rogue card here, Rogue Human Torch. There are no sales in the last 12 to 18 months at all of a PSA 10 double impact card. So there's no sales in this new market.
No one's selling them.
No one's selling them. Yeah, they're highly desirable if they have them. They're holding on to them. I was like, $300 a card. But I've got to know what this thing is going to grade at and get it back.
Yeah.
And so I sell some comic books, and I decided that I was going to hedge my bets. Okay, I'm going to send in 3 cards. So that's $900, right? So I sell some stuff and some action figures, and I'm going to send in 3 cards. All 3 are pack fresh, cards from my untrained eye look really good. And that way, if the Rogue double impact doesn't hit, maybe one of these other cards would surely hit.
Yeah.
And I can at least get my money back. So you want me to grab the cards?
Okay, that would be amazing.
All right. So I'm gonna grab a few cards while I'm here.
We're in for a treat here, guys, if you're watching.
Okay, so
I'm praying to you.
So the first thing I did was are you familiar with the 2020 Marvel Impact card? Marvel Masterpieces that just came out?
Yeah.
Well, in February I had purchased quite a few of those, and I thought I'll send one of those. I literally never touched the card. Okay, so this card was opened on an e-pack, and then shipped directly to me, and then I never took it out of the case. I sent it directly to PSA.
Sure.
And so I'm going to show you that one first here. We'll let you look at the card before I show you the grade, because that's what we do, right? So this is a
cool borders on these. So good.
Yeah, this is a red spectrum Spider-Man.
Nice.
And it's see if I can show you down here. It's
21 out of 25.
21 out of 25.
Nice.
It's a beautiful card. I mean, it really is. And like I said, I never ever touched it, and I sent it straight to them, and it came back a PSA 7. Can you see that?
What the hell?
Let's see if I can get it closer.
To me, the centering looks okay. I could be wrong. That's just from the camera, but that's crazy.
Centering's great. Well, apparently what I learned is this is a thicker card. Okay. These thick cards are very difficult to get PSA 10s.
Yeah.
And because they're thick, they're just viewed as softer corners, softer edges. And foil is incredibly difficult to get a PSA 10 on, apparently.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh man, that was not a good hedge of the bet. So, but I also, it looks, hey, look, one thing I would say is it looks in the PSA case. I mean, it looks fantastic.
Awesome. Yeah.
To me. Yeah. I'm happy to keep, I'm, Spideyjeu09. I mean, this is staying in my personal collection. So,
yeah.
Then I sent this Captain America, which you saw in the video that I pulled.
Love that card.
I thought, man, that is fantastic. And when I opened up this box coming back from PSA, this is the first one that I saw. And I mean, I don't know what to think about this card, but it came back a PSA 6.
Okay.
So now my bets are my hedges are failing me.
Yeah.
I'm not well hedged. And so So then comes the double impact rogue. Let me get the camera here for you guys. I mean,
looks awesome, doesn't it?
She looks fantastic. And so, Boris does one side, and then Julie did the other side.
That alone is just sensational, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah. Wow. So, you want to guess the grade?
I'm going to say 9.
7.
Oh man!
So, it has to do with the Human Torch side. Can you see the whitening along the edges? Anytime you have, anytime you have, see if I can get closer. Anytime you have dark colored cards, that edging, the whiting along see that corner back there.
Yeah,
I was hoping here that they would treat the back. The word on the street is that the backs carry less because it doesn't hit the eye appeal.
Yeah.
But I guess because this is a double-sided card, they graded the back just like they would the front.
Yeah.
And hence, even though this here, I mean,
the front's
she's perfect. Yeah. She is absolutely perfect. I mean, there's nothing about her that's wrong. No. And so, so now I have. Now I'm out $400 for the pack, $900 for the grading, and I'm not selling these cards, so I've got to sell other stuff to get my money back. So a little cautionary tale there. If you're going to grade cards, beyond knowing what you're doing, which obviously I do not, don't do Marvel Masterpiece. Marvel Masterpiece is very, very difficult to get in the PSA 10. I would tell you that just looking at sales and seeing what's available, even what's available from Marvel Masterpiece 96, if it's a PSA 9, that is a very high, very good grade. And if you can, I mean, if you can get a 1996 Marvel Masterpiece for $50 plus PSA grading, you've hit a home run.
Yeah, 100%. Easy. Yeah. So there's one thing that's really interesting. Thanks for sharing that, Justin. I really appreciate that.
You're welcome.
So there's one thing I think we've both still got cards at PSA by the sounds of it. You've got a chunk still there. I've got a chunk still there. Yeah. So there's one thing I've started to do, and I may be sending some more stuff to PSA soon. In the UK, we've got so basically a group submitter. So they do pre-grades. Now, I think my eye's okay. I've had like good luck in sports cards previously. I say good luck because it probably was just a fluke. But yeah, and the ones that I've recently sent, what I thought would be the grade has been what they've said for the pre-grade. But
that's awesome.
Yeah, it is awesome. But in the 96 Marvel Masterpieces, which I currently have none of, which I'm going to change, I've got my eyes on plenty. But yeah, that's oh man, I feel for you. But in the same way, like you kind of learn, and you still got some nice collectibles.
I do. Look, I'm going to be fine.
Yeah, you will.
I'm not. Spending money I don't have. I'm not. Don't gamble on your credit card, guys.
Correct.
If you're out there, don't do that.
100%.
Definitely you want to build your collection where your hobby's paying for itself. You want to be like I sold a group of comic books. In fact, I got paid on it yesterday. That I bought for $1,000, flipped for $500, and that's going to help. I've got some stuff I'm eyeballing right now that's going to purchase and go for. So that's, obviously, you really want to be a professional if you're doing this at any other level than that. And I'm not.
Neither am I.
This is my work is my stress life. This is my hobby that I do because I enjoy it, and it's relaxing. In a lot of ways, it's therapeutic. So that as long as it remains that, would I love it to be something I did, for more of a work, maybe, but then maybe it wouldn't be as enjoyable again.
Yeah, true. Yes, well, I'm in the same boat as you. Well, so with the comics, I've seen you've got a lot of graded CGC comics as well. Is that something you're into as well?
I love it. I really do. And that's, you know, from a financial standpoint, that's the one I've got to be the most careful about in terms of just going, because I'm not buying the stuff that's really expensive. I'm not wanting to flip.
Yeah.
I want as art on my wall to enjoy and keep. So what I've started doing there is identifying specific comics at specific grades, and I'm buying and selling and trading up to it.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Like I've got, excuse me, I've got two very desirable comics right now. One that I just got really, really fortunate on from a price standpoint, and another one that I can get my money back immediately right now, but I believe is going to probably double in price within the next 12 to 18 months. But those two books are two that I have positioned that it's when I sell are going to be the money I use to get to the book I really want. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so
you're just building. Yeah.
Yep. Just climbing up to it. The only thing that has me concerned right now is if the trajectory holds, if I'm not careful, those comic books will get out of reach, even with what I have to sell and flip. That's and I would say as risky as, you know, grading raw trading cards are, it's the same with comic books. I mean, I've got an AMS Amazing Spider-Man 300 first full appearance of Venom at CGC right now. I already had one at an 8.5 signed by Todd McFarlane. I flipped it for $980. I bought a raw newsstand, which is one of the books that I'm chasing, and I really believe, based on my view of the book and some fellow local collectors and a presser here in town that presses books, and that's the thing about comic books as opposed to trading cards, you can improve the condition. The trading cards, if you touch it, it gets worse.
It is what it is.
It doesn't get better. But you can. There's a healthy view of pressing and cleaning comic books that doesn't consider it being something that you're doing to damage or alter the condition of the comic book in a negative way. Well, but they believe it'll come back at a 9.6. If it comes back at a 9.6, it's going to be, you know, upwards to a $4,000 comic book that I will have less than $1,000 into, and that'll be another one that I use to get to this book these books that I'm eyeballing and stuff.
Yeah, love it. And on that point, so I've been thinking about recently the trading cards and the comics, like in terms of CGC. Don't know if you've heard a recent video about if CGC start doing graded cards. Can you imagine what that'll be like? What's your thoughts?
Well, first of all, thank you for bringing up that topic. I think that is. I think should that happen, should CGC do that, you'll see Marvel trading cards have incredible staying power as a collectible. And if I could match, a grade to a card and have them side by side. So if I could, I'm going to get up and grab something.
Please do, because I have a feeling I know what it is already, but go.
Okay. All right. 1 second.
I hope it is as well.
Yeah.
There's 4 people watching. Thank you, guys, for tuning in. Hi, Mark. Hope you're well. You're a loyal subscriber, so thanks for watching. 4 people. If you're watching, guys, please comment on the stream. I'd love to know who's watching. That'd be really, really cool. If you want to.
All right. Thanks for the patience there.
No worries.
So the first thing I'm going to show you is this is the first appearance of Spider-Woman, Spidey-Gwen.
Yeah.
And see how I have her card down here?
Yeah.
And so this is like a sticker card here that they just come out. They've been selling them in our local Walmart.
One, yeah.
And so I have it on my wall like this.
Oh my God! You've literally just set my mind off.
You see what I'm saying?
Yes, I do, my friend.
Okay. And
I'm just gonna chat about. Go on. You go.
Well, I was just say, just imagine if it was CGC graded and it matched, and I had a matching grade. How awesome that would be!
So
and
cool.
Then show you the next one. First appearance of Punisher.
That's so cool.
See, I have the card down here.
That's wicked. Can I ask?
Sure.
Is that 2020 80th card? It is, yeah.
It is. Now I would rather have the 1990 card.
Yeah.
Which I have off to be graded, and so when it comes back, it'll sit beside this.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But I would rather have a CGC to go with
slab,
where it would have a matching, CGC slab with a matching, somewhat of a matching label to sit beside it rather than the red label. I mean, it's gonna be fine. I'm gonna be happy to have the PSA label, but
love it.
So I know that I'm not the only one who is already preparing for that reality, even with just PSA cards. But if it was CGC, how much more?
See, this is the thing. I've had my own this kind of thing for a while, not a while, but a few months anyway. And I don't know. I've got raw cards that will match comic books, and I'm not saying what they are, just in case. But, I don't know whether to send them to PSA or just wait it out, and just think potentially CGC might do it this year, next year. I don't know. I don't know what to do.
I have a thought about that.
Yeah.
The first thing I want to do is I just want to call CGC myself and get on the phone with them and just have them tell me it's not ever going to happen, or that they don't know, or that it's a possibility. Like, whatever it is, just get somebody on the phone. I've done this with Heritage Auctions. So I found who their head grader was, and I just called and asked to speak with them, and then had a 1-hour conversation. It was amazing. And he gave me a lot of insight that he won't put in print because he writes a lot of articles, and I'm not going to say who it was, but it was wonderful, and I learned a lot. I want to do that with CGC about grading trading cards, because right now, for our viewers who are watching, they do grade cards, but it's only Pokemon and Magic the Gathering.
Yeah.
What do they call those? TGC cards or something like that?
TCG, yeah.
TCG. And so I actually have 2 Pokemon cards at CGC as a trial run to learn about their submission process.
Clever.
And they're actually on the way back now. And the price is reasonable compared to PSA, like very reasonable. Yeah. So they're on the way back now. Just want to have that experience of submitting and all that. So my thought is that more than likely, if they do it, it will only be open to initial members.
Okay.
And so I think that you might consider getting the 1-year membership if your investigation reveals that it is a possibility.
Love it. That's brilliant. I'm glad we're on the same wavelength. I should just say there's 5 people watching. There's a couple of people on the chat. You might not be able to see it.
I can't.
Okay. I don't know if I could show it. So we got Sketch Card Hive.
Hey, Sketch Card.
Marvel. So this guy here is a legend. If you don't know him, you should. Norin is an absolute legend. Sweet. He's taught me everything I know.
Norin. I've seen him on the Masterpiece Facebook group.
Cool. And we got Marvel Madness MCU. He said, I've emailed them. They've said not at this time, but they may in the future. So that's interesting.
That is. I like that. That gives me hope.
Yeah, it does. It gives me a lot of hope. I'm just can't wait until that day. But yeah, interesting though, isn't it? My next thing I want to chat to you about What are you currently looking at? Obviously, you've just mentioned one. In terms of trading cards, is there something that you're collecting? You're collecting a character? Is there something you're really into at the moment?
Absolutely. So this past weekend, I sat down with my personal collection that I've had for some time and realized I have a full run of base set of the 1995 Marvel Masterpieces.
Sweet.
And so, but I don't have all the inserts. So I'm probably not a, what do they call it? The master collections where they got every possible thing that ever. That's not going to be me more than likely, but I would love to have the full base set and inserts. And so I'm likely going to start chasing some of those inserts, and it won't be condition sensitive for me because they'll go in a sleeve. And there won't be cards that I'm getting graded. And so I'll likely start chasing those. And so I need to sit down and assess which ones I don't have and start running for those. And then the other is that I do want to create a character collection. And Spider-Man would be the first one. And so I kind of want to identify my favorite cards, my favorite sets, and the Spider-Mans in those sets and start chasing those.
That's awesome. Love it. So is like 80-90% of your stuff Spider-Man, I'm assuming?
Say that one more time.
Is most of your stuff based around Spider-Man in terms of what you're collecting?
I'm
assuming.
Well, and so Wolverine is right there with them in terms of like who I enjoy. But Spider-Man probably has a slight edge. But I have a ton of Wolverine stuff as well.
Yeah.
Including Hulk 181 signed by Stan Lee. So.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Dropping some bombs as well. Love it.
Yeah.
Okay. So for me, I'm a Marvel movie guy.
Okay. MCU.
What is your favorite Marvel movie?
Well, the second time I watched Age of Ultron after the Infinity Wars movies. So when I first watched Age of Ultron, I was like, it was good, but there was a lot going on that we at the time, or at least I did not understand. But after finishing the MCU run of those movies in phase 3, I think it is, going back and watching Age of Ultron made it my favorite movie. Just seeing all the different tie-ins in that one movie, along with this incredible villain Ultron, who I don't think the MCU is done with, by the way, because Ultron never dies.
No, he doesn't.
And I love him as a villain, but yeah. So, but it was the second viewing, not the initial viewing that made it my favorite.
Love it. So yeah, I've mentioned in previous videos I've done. I've been going back through all of the movies. Yeah. So I think I've rewatched it. I want to say 7-8 times in the space of a couple of years now. But
that's a lot.
But obviously with Disney Plus, it makes it far easier.
It does
to do that. But
so you probably said on your favorite. But what is your favorite?
Oh man, do you know what? This is really boring, but I really like the original Thor, the first one.
Okay, got you. Yeah, that's boring.
So it's split between the original Thor and the original Iron Man. I thought the original Iron Man was just like
it was. Cool. The original Thor humor really, really caught me by surprise. It was wonderful. The humor.
Yeah, and that's like as you mentioned when you go and watch back some of those movies after you've watched the whole kind of shebang up to the end game, etc. And you go back and you're like, oh my god, I missed that. I missed that character.
Right.
So cool, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is.
So good. My next question to you, Justin. What prompted you to start your YouTube channel? Because for you guys that are watching now, don't know, Justin has a YouTube channel, Spideyjeu09, and awesome content, far better than mine. So what prompted you to start your channel?
Well, in an effort to answer truthfully without getting really, really long-winded, in my professional career, I have to stay top of mind, okay? And I know to do that moving forward is going to require video and content creating. And I wanted a safe place to do that, to practice, to learn, how to be in front of the camera, how to, to get comfortable, and then how to content create. And so I was like, you know what? I'll start with, my hobby and creating those videos. And then as I work those muscles, so to speak, and they get stronger, I'll transition that into my professional career. And so that, along with being locked in my house for, I don't know, 6 months last year, where I had, time and space to do it. That's what prompted it. And I have commitments to the YouTube channel. So my initial commitment was, you're doing 35 videos, at least one a week, period. Whether you get 0 subscribers, whether anybody likes it, who cares? You're doing 35 videos and you're doing at least once a week. And that's been my commitment. And I've exceeded the 35 videos. The other part of that, and this is a little bit unique, is I wanted to be committed to my initial 1,000 subscribers without doing a tremendous amount of, hey, subscribe to the channel. Not that that's wrong in any way, but to me, it was like
organically.
Yeah, if I just labor really intentionally for the first 1,000 subscribers, that'll be the foundation that the channel's built on. And from there, the growth of the channel will have something really strong to stand on. And so I know that that's the slow play, but it really, I don't know, it really lights me up. I really love that concept of having true followers. And for those who don't know, if you want to monetize your channel, you got to have 1,000 subscribers as part of the requirements. And so I was like, you know what? I know I could get to 1,000 quickly. I believe I could. Let me say it that way. I believe there's a way to do that. But I want to have true subscribers. And so I've, it's been hard because I've been like, man, I could really accelerate this thing, which would be fine and it's cool. But that's been a commitment of mine as well. And I'm at 449, I think, of this morning, if someone hasn't unsubscribed. So
yeah. Don't you hate that?
Yep. Well, oh man, what did I say?
Yeah, it's a worry, isn't it? I love that, and that's really, really honest of you, Justin. I would say I'm pretty much in the same boat in terms of how I feel about my channel. Like I've gone from next to nothing to almost 200 in a couple of months, which is great. I'm loving
it. Man. I love watching you grow.
Thank you. But yeah, I'm not trying to get caught up in the numbers. Like, it's a really difficult thing to not think about. Be like, oh, I've got 200 now. But I'm trying just to enjoy it. And I'm learning about Marvel cards. I'm from the UK, so it's not been something that I've grown up with, but I'm just kind of learning and showing my process and what I think. And authenticity, I think, is what I'm getting from you, and I think we're kind of the same page there. So
absolutely. Well, you're the first person I've done a collaboration with.
Oh, I'm over the moon. Thank you.
No, I'm being serious. Like I was like, I really want to collaborate. Like, and I've been thinking about that for a while, so it wasn't a new thought. And I was like, I think that this is someone who aligns with who I am as a content creator, and the people who have subscribed to the channel, I think, would enjoy it. And so I'm thrilled that you gave me the opportunity.
Absolutely. We're loving having you on. So let's go back to Marvel cards, because I tend to go back off topic. Is there anything top of mind for you in terms of Marvel cards? Any content you've got coming up that you're really excited to share? Anything top of mind for you?
Yeah. Well, I have a couple of 1990 Marvel Universe boxes that are still sealed, that have not been opened.
Nice.
And I was thinking that, should I choose to open them, maybe we could live stream together, and
yes, please,
and box break them together. I think that would be pretty cool.
That'd be awesome.
I don't have anything else other than that I'm looking to open here soon. I spent quite a bit of money to open the 1995 Marvel metal cards.
Yeah, I love that video. That was great.
That
old Venom. I was like, oh
yeah, that was the most fun I've had ripping packs. Like, I don't know. Marvel metal was not a card that we could really afford growing up, because we bought with like allowance money type stuff, and so I only had a few. and some of those are like I traded with friends to get them, and so to be able to rip 36 packs was just tons of fun, and it felt like I just hit in every pack. Like it was fantastic. I would love to get those graded, but I need those PSA prices to really drop for me to do that. So we'll see what happens after July.
I've heard that the standard on this point, the standard value submission is likely to be $50. Again, still not confirmed for anyone that just starts shouting at me. What would you, if that's the case, what would you do in terms of getting them graded? Would you not bother? Would you go somewhere else?
Well, I would. It would drastically limit the number of cards that I would get graded. It would. I would look for the path that you discussed earlier with me, which is getting pre-grades from someone who's an expert.
Yeah.
And I suspect that PSA will do what you said, but also probably have a 5-card minimum submission.
Yeah.
Or something like that. Maybe 4 cards, whatever. And that's just going to cause me to be, much more thoughtful about what I'm submitting. And the struggle for me with that is I'm not just an investor. I don't only see these cards as an asset class that I'm diversifying a balance sheet with, and I'm trying to flip for a profit all the time. It's personal and investment. And so the struggle for me would be like, do I only send cards that I want to resell, or am I going to slip in some that are going to go into my personal collection as well? And trying to narrow that down is going to be difficult.
It's a difficult one, isn't it? Absolutely. So the next question I had, what, in your opinion, is the Marvel trading card or Marvel card grail currently? Or your grail?
Oh, wow.
Put you on the spot, I know.
Yeah, I was not. If I could have, I think if I could have any card, like if someone was like, Justin, go pick out your card, it would probably be the 2020 Marvel Masterpiece Red Spectrum Spider-Man. And they're one of one.
Yeah.
And they look fantastic. And if on the show, I've got a couple of the 2020 cards here. So this is one of the signature cards here. Professor X What If cards, and this is the that's the Wolverine card.
Yeah.
And that is the signature
cool
card, Professor X here What If. But yeah, so the red spectrum of this, if you can see how that gold, those lines come down.
Tinge,
this is gold on this card, but it's red on the red spectrum, and again, there's only one of one. That's who knows what that card is, what people are willing to pay for it. Because if you think about it, if you are a master collector and you want the full set of Marvel masterpieces, there's only one of that card, and there's only one of each red spectrum. It's probably
and it's not going to be sold.
Yeah, it's because you do have people doing these rainbow collections, as they call them. I believe they call them. Correct me if I'm wrong, but where they want each version of that card because there's multiple types of prints of it, parallels, as they say. And so to complete that rainbow collection, you got to have the red spectrum. But that would be the card that just comes right out. But it doesn't seem like a possibility for me. So of cards that are, possible for me to get, I don't know. I really want the Phoenix card from the 1996 Marvel Masterpiece. That's probably the one that, as I'm scrolling and looking, that's catching my eye and
pops out.
This close this past week on the 2020 Marvel Masterpiece Facebook page, because the guy was selling the whole base, and somebody claimed it before I could. So, but that's one of the cards that I'm chasing right now.
Love it. So cool. Cool. And what, in terms of 90s sets, is there you've mentioned one, but is there a particular set that you would love to own, or in particular single card that you'd love to own? I know you've got lots, so let's start with that.
If there's and I can't remember what set it's, so you'll have to help me, but there's a Spin 'em and Spider-Man, Venom and Spider-Man.
Yeah.
So, by the way, it's really early here in the States, so forgive me.
I was going to say it is early.
Yeah. But there's a Venom and Spider-Man hologram card. I think it's 93, 94. That is a tough card. It's a tough card to get in a high grade, and it looks really great. It's kind of a side scene of Spider-Man swinging in and Venom, and like there's variants of it. I think like there's a green one, and then maybe there's like a red one or blue or something like that. Those holograms can take different colors. A high grade of that card would be one that I would love to have in the personal collection, but I can't remember what set that's from for some reason.
Love it. So good.
Mm-hmm.
So in the background, I'm assuming they're Marvel Legends figures.
Yeah, these are. So I don't know. Did you ever get to watch the Spider-Man animated series from the 90s?
No.
It's on Disney Plus. Highly recommend.
Is it?
Yeah, and you'll that this. There we are. Where's my finger? This font is from that show, and it is. It's kind of like the 1990 X-Men animated series. I'm assuming you've seen that, or
I've seen parts of that. Yeah.
Okay, well, it's fantastic as well, and it's what, especially here in the States, it's really what my age group, mid 30s to early 40s, like that's how we got hooked on X-Men and Spider-Man, with those cartoons.
Yeah.
But that is these vintage card Marvel Legends are from the Spider-Mans are based off of that cartoon, basically.
Love it. So good. And I was thinking I'm going to try and get my little boy to start watching those animations, see if he likes them. He's a bit young, but
it does a really good job of telling kind of the story of Peter Parker and then the X-Men. And X-Men, that's on Disney Plus as well. Both of them are on there.
Yeah, seen that. That's so good. So last question before I leave you to do what you need to do, go to work or whatever you need to do.
Right, yeah.
I've got a couple of questions, but I don't know what to go with, really. I've written a load down, but
that's all right.
I'm gonna bear with me a second.
No, you take your time.
Marvel Legends when they start. Right.
It doesn't feel like we've been talking for 52 minutes. It's been great.
Is it? Oh my god, yeah. I was going to say an hour is perfect. 7 people watching. Sorry, I'm
wow. That's
I'm
awesome.
flagging here. It's my fault. So in the future, where do you see Marvel cards? And like obviously we've had a boom. Mm-hmm. Where do you see Marvel cards in 5 years from now?
Yeah, to preface that, I'll give some context for the viewers. My original training in my profession is as a real estate appraiser, and to be a real estate appraiser, you have to understand the fundamental principles that drive value. Now, Marvel cards is not real estate. Real estate is much more finite in a sense, but there are elements that play into both, right? And in my opinion, because of the incredible rise of the Disney Plus viewers and subscribers, the top level content that's being created. So I just think with me just for a minute. I just said, hey, look at these collectibles on my wall. They're based on a 1990 cartoon.
Yep.
That pales in comparison to what is being put out in the MCU. Okay. And so, Ginger Man, I'm going to ask you a question. Name an active current day, modern day artist in the world of art, not in comics. I don't know one. You can name it and I wouldn't know. This is our art.
Exactly.
This is our art of our generation. This is our art. And so with the content that's being created by Disney, you mentioned my son and I have been watching these shows, right? These kids are growing up with it, and it's got to be having a more indelible mark than it had even on us, and we have an indelible mark, right? So to think about that, to think, okay, 30 years from now, I know you said 5, but 30 years from now, what is this generation going to be purchasing? Well, it's likely still going to be Marvel collectibles. I don't see that going away. And we know that's possible because look at the baseball community. The baseball community started in the late 1800s. And people are still collecting baseball cards. They're still the most valuable baseball card. I mean, trading card that you can buy is baseball.
Yep.
To this day.
Was it 5 million for the?
Yeah, I mean, the numbers just you can't even keep up with them. They just
one of the cards.
They're not even a PSA 10, if I remember correctly. It was like
no.
Anyways. So yeah, and so to think about that, to think, hey, the truth is when people are saying, "Wow, look at the prices that are being paid," likely we'll look back in history and go, "Wow, you got it for what? How cheap?" And so, I think that there's going to be course correction. There's going to be shifts in desirability and what the collecting community determines is rare and is valuable. Yeah. And we've just got to pay attention to that and change course with it as those who are collecting and are investing. But to your point, moving ahead 5 years from now, I think we're going to look back. And maybe other than a few spikes, we're going to go, hey, well, that was a good time to get in. Wished I'd have got in then. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because you want the elements of, rarity and desirability to be in place. And rarity is the thing that we don't really have in a lot of the trading cards.
Yeah.
So demand is going to have to drive that, and I think that's happening with the content that's being created by Disney. But if you have a chance to grab some rare cards along the way, I think you want to hold on to them for a while.
Yeah, love it. I think that is the perfect ending point, to be honest, Justin.
Yeah.
So there's 8 people watching right now. So thank you very much for all you guys watching. Please do follow Spideyjeu09 on YouTube. He is a legend. Lots of really cool content. Opening the packs. I love those videos. So good. Marvel Madness MCU says I have 2. One I have at PSA. Spider-Man versus Venom is from the 1993 Marvel Universe 4. There you go. Awesome. This guy knows all of it. But yeah, thank you very much, Justin, for your time. I really appreciate it.
Right.
And thank
you
for
your viewers. Well, no, thank you. Hey, sorry for your viewers. I have 8 PSA graded cards that I should have, I think, in the next 2 weeks. So keep an eye on the channel, and we'll open those up and share those grades. It includes 2 1990 Marvel Universe holograms. It includes a Stan Lee card, Captain America, and Spider-Man and Wolverine, and it also includes the 1991 Impel Deadpool rookie card. And nice. So we'll get those back, 8 of them, and I'll open them up on the channel. It'd be great.
That'd be awesome. Thanks very much, Justin. Thanks for your time, guys, and have a good day. Cheers, guys.
All right. Cheers.
Thank you. Bye.